Coming up next, a woman is dead after a shooting in Little Italy involving San Diego police.
An early morning fire rips through 4 classic cars here at Chula Vista Auto Body.
Getting charged for gas on your SDG&E bill you're not using. One homeowner's warning to other ratepayers.
And the Automotive Museum has a whole new look thanks in part to the man behind the scenes and curtain.
And the Pokemon card that sold for nearly $1 million. CBS 8 News live at 6 starts now. A San Diego police officer has been stabbed and a woman has been shot and killed following a standoff in Little Italy. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jesse Pagan in for Marcella Lee.
And I'm Carlo Cicchetto. It all started just before 2 this afternoon in the 400 block of Beach Street. That's where we find CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes.
She's been on the story from the start. Kirsten, what's the latest where you're at?
We've actually been able to move. I'm now near the corner of Beach and Union Street, and if you take a look behind me, the scene is still kind of active. Where there were maybe 10 police units, there are now only a handful left. And the shooting and stabbing took place at the Aqua Vista Apartments here in Little Italy when neighbors say law enforcement was trying to serve an eviction notice. Now, several of the neighbors we spoke to described this as a possible mental health crisis. And we also spoke with a neighbor named Brian, who says that he lives next door to the woman who was shot and killed by police. And I want you to take a listen to what he told us, describing what he saw.
The woman seemed obviously very frantic. I couldn't understand. Obviously, I didn't understand what she was saying. She was yelling. I couldn't tell if the door was cracked open a little bit. Somehow the officers knew that she had a knife in her possession.
Brian also told us that he believes the woman lives alone and he's heard screaming coming from her apartment a couple times before. Now, here's the video from the scene earlier today. You can see the police officer in question, who has not been identified yet, walking with other first responders to get medical attention. He was taken to the hospital. His condition is unknown right now, but as you can see from this video, he was able to walk away from the situation. Brian says he also saw the woman, who is now deceased, brought outside and lying on the ground while first responders gave her chest compressions. He says officers were serving an eviction notice when the standoff started, and SDPD says that when she attacked the officer, other officers responded, and that's when the woman was shot and killed in the apartment. We spoke with another neighbor who says what he saw today shook him. Listen.
I saw the ambulances come in also, and they took a man, and I knew it was a cop because he had the blue pants and the black shoes and no shirt. Somebody told me that he yanked it off. I get emotional, I'm sorry. Yeah. Because my son's a cop in Burbank, and I pray for him every day. And to see this, I don't like police officers getting hurt.
Now, we don't have an update on the officer's condition right now, but as you can see from the video, he was sitting up and responsive and was able to walk to the gurney before being taken in the ambulance to the hospital. Police have not released the name of the officer who was hurt or the name of the woman who lived here who was killed. The deceased's name and picture should be released after her family is notified. Now, as you can see behind me, traffic is starting to clear up in this area. There's a lot more movement than there was earlier today at about 5 o'clock. This is still an ongoing investigation, so details are still limited. What I can tell you is that San Diego County just launched their mobile crisis response team that can be called on to help in behavioral or mental health crises. We are trying to get answers if that team was called in today's situation. That's still a question we haven't gotten an answer to, so we'll continue to work on this story for you as it develops on air and online at CBS8.com. Back to you.
A traumatic day and a lot of outstanding questions. Kirsten Holmes reporting live. Thanks, Kirsten. Governor Gavin Newsom has a new plan to help homeless people in our state who are dealing with severe mental illness or substance abuse issues. He says he wants to implement Care Court, which could order them to get treatment. Under the program, every county would have to set up a mental health branch in civil court to handle these cases. Counties could face sanctions if they do not provide services and resources.
There's no compassion stepping over people in the streets and sidewalks. We could hold hands, have a candlelight vigil, talk about the way the world should be. Or we could take some damn responsibility to implement our ideals.
Some critics say the governor's plan would infringe on civil liberties.
Well, if you thought last week was hot, this week might be it for you because winter weather is making a comeback for the end of the week with some rain, cooler temps, and snow to the east coming back.
Back on the weather roller coaster, Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is here early with the first look at your microclimate forecast. Carlene.
So nice, Mother Nature wants to do it twice. We had it last week. We started off the week talking about some record temperatures, and then we got into the winter weather where we had the storm system that moved through and dumped about 14 inches of snow across Mount Laguna. So we started off this week with warmer than usual temperatures, also talking about some record heat, and now we're talking about winter-like conditions returning yet again. So that area of low pressure is just towards the west of us, but you can see the bulk of the moisture still offshore, but it's starting to move closer. And as it does, we're going into the overnight hours. That's where we're going to expect the heaviest rainfall. You're looking at a line of showers and storms moving in around 2:35 in the morning. So the bulk of that moisture will be in the overnight hours. Also, with some of these stronger cells, could be dealing with some small hail as well as some downpours and lightning. Around 7 in the morning, you're still seeing a lot of that moisture moving in. And that's going to stick around at least going into noon. Once we get past noon, still a few lingering showers, but we also have that snow to talk about. All those details are coming up. Jesse?
All right, Carlene, thank you. An Ocean Beach man has admitted to his role in last year's insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Philip Weisbecker pleaded guilty to a federal misdemeanor today. According to an arrest warrant, anonymous tipsters identified him to officials. He also posted a screenshot on his Facebook page from a Fox News TV show showing him inside the Capitol. Weisbecker's plea comes 1 week after a Coronado man was sentenced for his part in the insurrection. Weisbecker is expected to be sentenced in June.
A suspicious fire just outside an auto body repair shop in Chula Vista has investigators on high alert.
CBS 8's Tim Blodgett tells us about the property the flames destroyed.
4 classic cars at a Chula Vista auto body have been destroyed in a fire and what investigators are calling suspicious. Around 3 a.m. off Main Street in Chula Vista, 4 classic cars parked outside of MP Customs auto body were set ablaze. A vintage truck and the sidewall of a building were damaged. Nowhere else in the industrial area were there reports of a fire. Chula Vista Battalion Chief Brendan Barahura.
A significant loss in value. The heat and smoke was going up against the wall of the building. We did have our crews force entry to the structure to determine that there wasn't any fire inside.
This morning, while an owner of the auto body swept up the mess, Chula Vista fire investigators were on scene assessing the damage. The 4 vintage, fully restored cars, a Pontiac Firebird, a Monte Carlo Supersport, a Chevy Impala, and a Camaro, completely destroyed from the inside out. Their combined values well over $100,000. A distressed man who did not want to be on camera told News 8 that he had just bought his black Camaro after saving for years, and he had just brought it in for a tune-up. Fire and arson investigators were on scene and have labeled the incident suspicious, since the fire was isolated solely on the cars in front of the auto body. Investigators are working with other businesses in the area that may have security footage. If you have any information on the fire, contact the Chula Vista Police Department. Tim Blodgett, CBS 8.
Crews are making progress on a wildfire north of San Diego County in the Cleveland National Forest. The Jim fire has burned more than 550 acres and is now 15% contained. Some crews from San Diego are helping there. It sparked yesterday in Holy Jim Canyon northeast of Rancho Santa Margarita. No buildings are threatened. It's still not clear, though, how the fire started. The San Diego County Taxpayers Association came out in support today of a new tax on rooftop solar, but the solar industry says not so fast.
As CBS 8's David Goffredson reports, that could mean a charge of more than $48 a month for the average solar customer in San Diego, and that's not the only proposed change.
Well, we're opposed, first and foremost, to taxing consumers for generating their own energy from the sun.
It probably comes as no surprise that the solar industry and rooftop solar owners oppose the new tariff proposed by the California Public Utilities Commission. Bernadette Del Chiaro is the executive director of the California Solar and Storage Association.
It's unfair, it moves California in the wrong direction, and it absolutely will destroy the rooftop solar market in California.
The proposed solar tariff is supported by the big utilities that argue solar customers do not pay their fair share to maintain a clean, reliable electrical grid. Under the so-called Net 3.0 proposal, residential solar owners in San Diego would pay a higher monthly tariff of $48 per month, pay a higher rate for time of use power, about $16 a month, and receive a greatly reduced rate when selling extra power back to the grid.
San Diego Gas and Electric and the other utilities, acting out of an anti-competitive spirit, are trying to scapegoat solar users and blaming solar users of all people for their ballooning and out of control spending of ratepayer dollars.
Haney Hong is the CEO of the San Diego County Taxpayers Association. The group supports the proposed tariff.
It's not going to kill the solar industry.
Saying the current rate structure favors rooftop solar customers over low-income customers who cannot afford solar.
This is not an issue of no solar at all. It's an issue of where can we correct the marketplace so that we continue to incentivize those other things and other technologies that will help us get to decarbonizing the grid.
We should point out Sempra Energy does support the San Diego Taxpayers Association financially by paying tens of thousands of dollars in annual membership dues and payments.
Did they influence this discussion or process? Absolutely not.
Now, the vote on that proposed tariff has now been put on hold indefinitely. Those opposed to it and those in favor of it will argue their case before the Public Utilities Commission.
Now, David, we know the proposal has been controversial. Is that controversy why the final vote is on hold?
Exactly. Yes, there was a lot of backlash from rooftop solar owners, leading Governor Newsom to announce that there was still, quote, work to be done on the proposal before it goes to a final vote.
All right, David Goffredson for us tonight. David, thank you.